So it's been a little bit. Probably 11 months ago, I think, almost a year to the day, I released an update that I was going to be pivoting this channel. That obviously didn't happen since I haven't uploaded literally all year. This is going to be the exception and kind of an update on what things are going to look like going forward. So in the last 11 months to a year, I have started developing my first course. I've been laid off. I've gotten a new job. I've started new research. I've tried to launch a startup that failed. And I started a newsletter. So lots of things going on this year, lots of exciting and sometimes terrifying things. So let's start with the most important, the class. The class is going to be called Scrape the Planet, Web Scraping with Python. It's going to be on web scraping with Python. Basically, we're going to be covering beginner scraper stuff, all about the design, all about the ethics and legality of web scraping, all about how to create web scrapers with actual functional target sites. We're going to be focusing on developing stock price scraping web scrapers. We're going to be focusing on spiders that crawl IMDb and Wikipedia. And we're going to be focusing on a lot of the design concepts that make up spiders and scrapers. It's going to be like 70 to 80% actually practical, so writing code out in an IDE, and the rest of it's going to be more like design and theoretical. So I'm looking forward to both, honestly. They're both very, very interesting topics, stuff that I've been working on for literally years now, and decided to kind of codify into a course in itself. So I'm really looking forward to that being out. It's going to be out in like 10 days, which is like terrifying to me. So I've got I've got one more section, I think, to record on, and then, all of the fun editing that's going to come after that. So I've got like almost 9 hours of footage, I believe, to edit through in the next 10 days, which is terrifying, but doable. So this channel is going to get an update. I'll release a video when that class comes out, kind of talking about what it is, and then I will release about an hour's worth of free material on the video, or attached to that video as well. That free material is probably going to be writing a spider for Wikipedia, which I think is one of the cooler sections of the course, honestly. So that'll be kind of like a here's what you're getting kind of introduction to the course, even though it's going to be, I think, in section 4 of the course itself. So that's fun, and it's been exhausting to develop it out because it's 8 to 9 hours of like raw footage already, and I still have a full section to go. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. The newsletter. So the newsletter is a weird like thing that I kind of tacked onto the blog, which is something that I've been focusing a lot on recently. I tried to develop out my own platform for a blog, and also a learning management system, and also a video hosting site, and also you can tell that scope creep kind of like snuck up on me pretty heavily there. So instead, I launched your typical WordPress thing, and I've been blogging about everything from software development practices to security to right-wing extremism research that I've been doing a ton. That I'm thinking about branching off and putting into its own thing, since it's kind of like, I don't know, it's sometimes kind of whiplash when you're reading through my blog feed, and it's like, oh, cool thing about cybersecurity, software development, right-wing extremism, that's weird. And I admit that a lot of people probably aren't there for like one or the other. So I might split that off into its own thing. I haven't really decided yet. But the newsletter was kind of going to be a weekly wrap up that I called Viking Sec Weekly, of all of the different things that have happened in the last week in information security and right-wing extremism research. So lots of cool stuff there. And I've really enjoyed putting that newsletter together. It's kind of made me make my workflow around discovering new content and new information a bit more efficient, because now I have to do it and I have to get this stuff into a weekly wrap up. So I've started using Feedly a ton for that, and that's helped a lot. So that's blog, newsletter, class, this channel. There is stuff in the works to upload on this channel. It's going to be way more focused on development. So that's web scraper development, website development, data research, things like that. The security content isn't going entirely. There are a couple of series that I'm planning on continuing. Specifically, the malware development series is going to get a reskin and relaunch because people apparently loved that. They thought it was super cool. So probably going to restart that, and work on, like, I guess, security from the developer's perspective. So how to develop secure software, how to develop offensive security software, how to develop like defensive security software. I think development content is more useful than like me trying to learn offensive security and hacking and all of that fun stuff from like a complete layman's perspective and just butchering it, because that's what I was doing in most of my old videos. So a lot of it's going to be way more developer oriented, thus the change in channel name from Viking Sec to Viking Dev. That doesn't mean security is going away. It's just, I don't know. It's not going to be the main topic of the channel. So I've got some like tutorial type stuff in the works, and how to develop this and that kind of stuff in the works. So that's exciting, and that's what's coming. And I understand that not everybody is going to be here for that. It's going to be a kind of a major change, but hopefully I'll keep some people around. And, like I said, I'll be keeping some of the security content around as well. So thank you so much. That's really it. Just kind of wanted to upload an update as I work on all of the class-oriented stuff. Yeah, that's about it. I'll probably throw this on the channel fairly shortly after recording it, just rough edits and things like that. Thank you so much, and I will be seeing you.